As some of you may know, Moco has been a resounding success since its recent release. However, I feel like another game kind of blazed the trail for Moco to succeed as well as it has. Please leave a like, pop a sub, comment down below any of your thoughts about Moco and what I talk about in this video, and let's get right into it. The game I alluded to in the intro is Catalyst Black. Now, some of you may have forgotten that this game even existed, and some of you maybe didn't even know it existed to begin with, and I wouldn't blame you. Now, this is made by Super Evil Megacorp, and they're the creators of Vainglory, which was a very popular MOBA game on mobile, and it happens to be my favorite mobile game of all time. Now, Catalyst Black showed a lot of promise, especially early in development. Everyone really loved its polished and stylized visuals, its sound design. It just had Super Evil Megacorp's talent just all over it. So people were really hopeful. However, when the game released, it didn't feel like it was complete, and certain things were missing, and updates were very infrequent, and creators were not involved in these updates, and whenever creators would give feedback, it fell on deaf ears, which is very unfortunate. And eventually this game just kind of quietly died without any really official statements from Super Evil Megacorp themselves, which is quite unfortunate. I actually have an entire full-length video going way more in-depth about the things I mentioned with Catalyst Black so far, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the description down below, and I highly suggest you guys give it a watch and maybe even come back to this video because it provides way more context. But what I'm trying to say overall is that Catalyst Black was a pioneer, kind of a trailblazer and way ahead of their time when it came to a few things that we see in Moco today, which is the drop in and pop out nature of the multiplayer game modes on offer, as well as blending the PvE and PvP elements in almost every game mode that they offered. Now, what I mean by that is Catalyst Black, the whole thing that they were pushing was that drop in and drop out nature, which was very intuitive. There were matches going on for multiple hours. You could drop in, affect the outcome of the match, make some progress, and then hop out, and it was very seamless. And we see that in Moco today. That's one of the strengths. You can just drop into a map, there's already players there, you get to get out your quests, you get to assist those players that are already there, and you can drop out at any time without any penalty. Now, we saw that in Catalyst Black, as I mentioned, but also the blend of the PvE monsters as well as PvP matches was very ahead of its time, at least on mobile, where defeating monsters on the map would grant you various benefits as well as bonuses, so to speak, and it would help you defeat the other team. Now, obviously, you want to minimize your deaths against the enemy team while maximizing your kills against the team, but PvE was a huge aspect. Now, I will admit that in some of the modes, PvE was not as big of a thing. It didn't really matter. The monsters were kind of an annoyance at the end of the day, but overall, it really was Moco's PvP. And we see in Moco's PvP currently that you have big teams of players and you try to farm these PvE monsters in order to gain points, and then you can gain those points from other enemy team players if they have farmed various monsters themselves, which is pretty crazy to see the parallels of these two games. Despite these parallels, there were vastly different fates, at least currently, for each game. Catalyst Black kind of died a very pathetic death, and that is due to certain things, including not knowing how to monetize the game effectively, as well as very inconsistent and unrewarding progression. And those two things are where Moco excels. Now, Moco is completely free to play. I feel like everyone feels like it's very refreshing to only feel like, hey, I can purchase this cosmetic, but everyone else is on an even playing field, no matter how much money they spend. And that is a foreign concept with gaming nowadays. I'm honestly shocked that Supercell went with this method of monetization, and I hope it succeeds, because if it doesn't, we're going to see a trend with their games in the future. Another reason why Moco is succeeding where Catalyst Black did not is rewarding progression. You are constantly getting cores, you're constantly upgrading your gear, and you're being rewarded for your play time. Whereas in Catalyst Black, everything was left to chance with almost a loot box system where you grind all this time and you get something that you didn't even want to begin with. And again, this is where I encourage you guys to watch my other video on Catalyst Black where I go into way more detail on this. But I think that's why Moco is succeeding where Catalyst Black did not. However, only time will tell whether Moco becomes a long-lasting success for Supercell, and I think that all depends on the foundation that they have set, which seems to be very good. They just need to consistently update this game with new ways of progression, as well as maintain that free-to-play model, and I'm really hoping they do so. Now, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think they need to do with Moco to further improve it and make it a long-lasting game? Because if you're anything like me, I really hope it lasts long and the monetization model works and we see it in other games where we don't have to worry about FOMO as much and we don't have to worry about pay to progress or pay to win mechanics. It's been so refreshing and I'm excited to maintain this journey of Moco on this channel. I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe and take it easy.